Hi, Chelsea fans. Can't wait to join you at Stamford Bridge. See you there.
Yes, you guys, welcome back. I'm New EFC. This is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm here to speak about our new signing in EDOUARD Mendy because finally, after God knows how long, he has been officially announced today. Now in today's video, you guys, I'm going to break down how this deal got wrapped up. I'm going to compare Mendy and Kepa too. Plus, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on why I feel so excited by this new goalkeeping signing. Before I get into anything though, if you like today's video, if you are happy with this new signing, and if you are happy that Kepa finally has some quality competition, then smash out that like button, you guys. I'm going to go over 5,000 likes for today's video, and without wasting no more time, we start by covering the new segment today before I move on to giving my thoughts and opinions behind our new goalkeeping signing. Now, earlier this afternoon, Frank Lampard did announce that Mendy was currently at Cobham taking part in his medical, and of course he was set to sign for us. Now, with Mendy, we know that last night he was also in Berlin taking part in his medical, and I think that we just have to accept that during these COVID times, medicals are being outsourced. You can't do all of them at one place, I guess. They are being outsourced in various different locations, so it is really no different with EDOUARD Mendy. Mendy is going to cost us up to 22 million, and for me, this is another massive win for Marina, who of course is signing another key target for the price you wanted to sign them for in the first place. Mendy is going to cost us up to 18.2 million up front, with the remaining fees being covered in clauses, and this deal just gets better and better. Mendy signs on the 5-year deal, and there was times during these negotiations that you were thinking, is this deal going to get wrapped up and sealed? Rennes, they were changing their demands every single time. They wanted to have Olivier Giroud, and of course, they entertained the ideas of having Tomori on loan for a season too. Now, after seeing how Tomori performed against Liverpool, for me, I think he has to stay here. He has to work under your Thiago Silvas, he has to work under more experienced defenders, and of course, grow into his position. So that was never going to happen. Of course, the Rennes fans aren't too happy that they're selling one of their best players, because Rennes fans have really spoken about EDOUARD Mendy in such high praises. Now, I want to give a shout out to a Twitter account that I really rate. He's called Expected Chelsea, and of course he found a little extract from Rennes fans just speaking about what they think about Mendy and how much they value him too. Now, some of these Rennes fans state that they feel like he could be one of the best ever goalkeepers to play under them. They had a previous goalkeeper in Ben-Marc Costil, who was also a French international. He was the third choice goalkeeper, and the fact that Mendy, who's only been there for one season, is being seen in such a high light that he's better than a prestigious player in the history, I think that sums everything up. And of course, they're not happy that they're selling him for way less than they feel he deserves, and to be honest, they think he's worth over 30 million. So again, massive win for Marina, and from this point on, you guys, I'm now going to move on to giving my thoughts and opinions by comparing Mendy and Kepa. Now for the next segment, I want to speak about something that I feel I have to see a big improvement in for this season. We've seen small signs that things could potentially be better, and that's how we defend collectively as a team. Now, the main reason why I say this, you guys, is that even though Kepa has been very poor, he has conceded way more goals than we should have conceded in the first place. I think the reality is that collectively as a team, especially in midfield, we just leave too much space open between the lines where opposition teams have the possibilities to really have good shots on target against our goalkeepers. Now, let me give you guys an example. Let's say when it comes to teams scoring outside the box, we've seen a few teams score absolute mazzers against us. And when you compare it to us, how often do we find opportunities between the lines against opposition teams where we can take shots outside the box? It rarely happens. It doesn't come as frequently compared to opposition teams. And I think the main reason for that is due to the poor defensive positioning from our midfield players and that poor protection we give to our defense. Now, the main reason between the difference between Kepa under Sarri and Kepa under Frank Lampard is that with Sarri, we know that Sarri spent a lot of time in the training sessions working on defensive positioning. Now, these are the type of training sessions that players absolutely hate. You're playing without the ball. It's not fun, it's boring, it's repetitive, but during that season we saw the benefits and the results. And of course, on top of all of that as well, we were also a team that would sit back and defend compactly and as a unit too. Under Frank Lampard, things are completely different. He wants to change how we defend as a team. He wants to change how we press, and when we defend now, we defend from the top. The only issue is that Lampard has not inherited a team perfectly yet in his image to really play that football perfectly. It's gonna come, we're nearly there. I think we need one more important midfield addition, and then I think our football is gonna be absolutely unreal. But the reason why I start with this point, you guys, is that until we really improve in this area, we're gonna remain a team that gives opposition teams great areas to shoot from and give them more high probability areas to score from as well. Now, let's tackle Mendy versus Kepa. Now, immediately, Mendy, 6'6", absolute unit, massive frame, ridiculous arms. I mean, the guy for me looks like a basketball player, and it's no surprise that when it comes to things like his percentage of crosses stopped compared to Kepa's, naturally Mendy and his ridiculous frame is going to be much better compared to Kepa's. Now, immediately, that quality is going to help us out so much when it comes to defending set pieces. How often are set pieces targeted near that 6-yard area? Every single time. And you'd hope that Kepa would be more commanding. He would come out, he would collect that ball, he would organize defenses, he'd be strong and powerful too. But it's just not one of the best aspects of his game. But when it comes to our new signing in Mendy, this is something he has absolutely banned. Mendy's save percentage is literally like 23% higher than Kepa's, and I know that with save percentages, listen, it's like one of the most like vague stats you can possibly have. It doesn't give you the full detail, so don't take that one too seriously, but it is still something worth mentioning. But for the most important stat, when it comes to post-shot expected goals. Now, this is usually a stat that you want to use if you want to really find out how well a goalkeeper is performing. Of course, when it comes to Kepa, he's in the minus. And when it comes to Mendy, he's in the positive. Now, you might be wondering, Nini, quickly just explain to me, what do you mean by post-shot expected goals? Now, I mentioned earlier that save percentages weren't the most accurate things because it doesn't give you the full picture and the full details. Not every shot on target against a goalkeeper is the same level and quality. Some efforts on goal are better, and some efforts on goal aren't that great. With post-shot expected goals, well, this basically just collects all the shots taken on target against a goalkeeper by telling you the quality of efforts that goalkeepers are facing. A number is basically assigned between 0 and 1. That represents the probability of beating a goalkeeper, and that's like pretty obvious. For example, let's say a striker is literally in the 6-yard box who's got an open goal, then you can imagine that his number is going to be very high. And let's say that that same striker is taking a shot from outside the box, like down the left side channel, his probability number is going to be much lower. So, what does this mean when Mendy has a positive 1 and Kepa has a negative 1? A positive 1 means that they are making more saves than the average, than the median, than what is expected of them. And if it's a negative 1, then it means that they are conceding more saves than the average or the median. Mendy has saved 1 to 2 goals more on average compared to Kepa. I mean, it's not like the most groundbreaking stat, but at the same time, it's a positive sign. We can't forget that he was playing for Rennes, and I'm sure that playing for us right now, his stats, his records, they are going to improve, and they are going to reflect the new quality club he's playing for too. To end with the final segment, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions. As I've stressed so many times throughout this video, I really co-sign the signing. I think that he is a great quality buy. I love what this means about how Frank Lampard is as a man and a manager too. You know, he turns experts in goalkeepers, Petr Cech and Olachon. You know, he went to them for their professional advice and they came up with some targets and they found the best one that this team currently needs is Mendy. So the fact that Lampard is, you know, so trusting of his team, he's so willing to work with everyone, I think it sums up why he's been so successful so far in the club's current structures. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how Mendy is going to adjust here. For example, we're a team that defends from the top, so that means that there's going to be plenty of times where we need our goalkeeper to step outside his box to help close down a counter-attack. Now, this is something that Mendy hasn't done too much at Rennes. Does this mean he can't do it? No. I'm wondering how he's going to cope playing for us, and I'm curious because I think he could be pretty good at that. If he finds the right technique, if he shows that he can do that, you know, you're thinking about a guy who's 6'6", who can have a ridiculously massive frame with, you know, long legs, long arms, really making himself as big as possible, doing much better at stopping these shots compared to Kepa. Still though, the reality is, out of Kepa and Mendy, because it has been made abundantly clear by Frank Lampard that we want Kepa to have competition, and of course there has to be quality. Who is going to be the domestic goalkeeper and the one to play in the cup games, because this is a trend that's been happening throughout modern football recently. The reality is, if we want to sell Kepa, we have to keep his value moderately high to encourage people to buy and to take him from us, because otherwise it's literally going to be one of the biggest L's and flop for us in like our history. We have to hope that Mendy's signing does bring out something in Kepa, brings out some more inner confidence and brings up some more conviction, because I think that is the main thing that Kepa lacks that really frustrates me. And to be honest, I see Mendy being the domestic goalkeeper because the Premier League is a lot more physically hard. Mendy will be useful when it comes to aerial balls, set pieces, using his presence as well. That's going to be key for us. And to just think about how he's going to communicate effectively with Thiago Silva and Zuma. You know, all three of these guys speak French. Of course, Mendy can speak different languages too. But I just think in terms of that synergy, you know, everything works, and I think the balance should be there. I see Kepa being the guy to play in the cup games and the games in Europe because it's not too physically demanding, and hopefully that can encourage some European clubs to test us and try and sign him. But there you guys, that is it. Edouard Mendy is our new goalkeeper for this season. I'm particularly excited. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. How do you feel about him? Do you think he's going to be a success? Let us know. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.